Previously on Sisters in Stars Hollow.
Why? Never forget the cornstarch.
So give that guy a license.
God, Luke, you snooper.
You're disgusting. You have Chad Michael Murray and Jared Padalecki fighting over you. I mean, that's pretty fun.
Cookies almost never make it out of the car. Because I love you, you idiot. Oh my gosh. Season 1 finale. So good.
So good. And seamless transition into first episode of season 2, I must say.
Yep.
I actually really appreciated that. Mm-hmm. It's like the next day. There's no time jump.
It's not always like that, but this one is very much like we are just picking up from where we left off. So there you go. This is really random and has nothing to do with us.
Okay.
The show, but has everything to do with me and Alex and our things we like. Did you see Netflix is producing a new Pride and Prejudice movie?
I did.
It's coming out in October. Or the fall. October or the fall. A lot of things happening this fall. A lot of things are coming out in the fall this year. Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I saw this recently. I was like,
I don't think I have enough information to make a judgment because the only trailer that I saw was so bare bones. Like, it was just like a mood. Like, did you see the trailer where she's just like sitting?
And they show the hands.
Wait, did they show the hands?
Okay.
No, I can't remember what happened in the trailer.
The trailer,
because right when they released the trailer, I saw some flirty conversation on Reddit, and I was like, and then we haven't talked about it.
No. Yes, it was a minimal trailer. From what I saw, I'm like, are they just recreating the 2005 film?
It's definitely that vibe.
Yeah.
Or at least inspired. Some of it's inspired
definitely
by that.
Inspired how Elizabeth was dressed, some styles of their outfits. And I was watching like a long video about the making of the 2005 film. Okay. And they were every choice made for that movie was very deliberate by the director and who was producing this film. And it wasn't necessarily period accurate.
Yeah.
But he was creating a feeling from every choice that he made, and it was very deliberate and I think that's why that movie is so captivating and unique. It's just done so well. And so I saw what she was wearing in this new trailer. I'm like, okay.
The costumes are inspired by that version.
By that. And then they flashed, like they kept showing hands and like the classic, like the scene in the 2005 film where Mr. Darcy's hand, like after he helps Elizabeth into the car, it's like, oh, the hand. And they like were showing like images of that almost. And I was like, what is happening here?
I think they or someone was like, oh, period pieces are popular again because of like Bridgerton and stuff. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should remake Pride and Prejudice again because it's been 20 years. Oh my God.
Which is like, oh, I'm old.
Oh no.
Oh, I know. When you stop and think about it, you're like, it's been 20 years?
It's been 20 years. They're like, we could do another remake of Pride and Prejudice. Then they look back and they think, what would audiences like better? Something that's more like that movie or something that's more like the original BBC thing?
Nah.
Not the BBC
Not the BBC.
It has its merits.
Yes.
People like it.
And that's all well and good. I'm not going to fight you on that if that's your favorite and you have your reasons. Just the Keira Knightley one.
No, the Keira Knightley one for us is
everything.
It's everything. It's such a good movie.
I would turn on the soundtrack and read books with that in the background. And my God, try that. Take any book you want and put that on in the background. It just elevates the intensity of whatever you're reading. You just feel things. I'm telling you. I am telling you.
That's
a really
good idea, actually.
Yes. I used to do that all the time.
I've listened to that soundtrack while I'm working.
Yeah.
I haven't read a book to it, though.
Read a book to it.
I'm going to.
Try that. Try that. It's really kind of cool. It changes your experience.
There's one of the tracks on the soundtrack. I learned how to play it on piano years ago. To be able to like play it, just like, because it just makes you feel
things.
Very complex emotions.
God,
I don't know.
Such a good soundtrack.
It really is.
Anyway, I just had to bring that up because I saw that recently and I was like, okay, well, we'll be watching that.
Yes, 100% we'll be watching it and we will be judging it.
And we'll give our hot takes.
We will.
That's a bonus episode where we discuss the Pride and Prejudice movie.
It could be. We could easily talk for a whole episode about that,
yeah.
I'm sure. I could talk for a whole episode about the old movie.
Maybe we have a bonus episode about Pride and Prejudice. Maybe we do.
Maybe we do. What about it?
What about it? Huh? Oh, man.
Anyway,
anywho, back
in other
to
news.
Why we're actually here. Starting season 2, very exciting. We wanted to do something fun for our coffee drink today, so we made a little drink. We made, not alcoholic, that's made it sound like it's alcoholic. No, just, fun little concoction.
Julia did use a cocktail mixer to create this, but there is no alcohol in it. Yeah, it's just an iced coffee with flavored syrup. Really? but
we made fun. God damn it, it's fun.
We got flavored syrups. Yeah, so there's espresso shots, milk, and flavored syrup, and ice. Shaken,
not stirred. Sorry. I don't know. I'm in a weird mood. Okay.
No, that was perfect. That's exactly what it is. And I will say mine is delicious. Mine is amaretto flavored, and I like it.
Yes, I did caramel. As soon as I took a sip, I was like, "Ooh, I will be making this again." This may be my new go-to drink. I think it could start your day off nice. If you're like, "Ooh, I mixed myself a nice little iced latte here."
Have you ever seen like a TikTok or an Instagram video where somebody has this like really bougie coffee setup, and it's just like my daily iced coffee, and they put like 5 things in it, and it's like you do that every day. But that's what you want to do. It's possible.
Stay tuned. I'll be making a video. So I've been transitioning my Julia's Sweet Life TikTok because I've been a little bored. Not bored. Bored is maybe the wrong word. I'm not bored. I'm just a little like restless lately, and I just need to like be doing things.
Okay.
And I have this TikTok that I had made for my cookies, my cookie business. Because of many reasons, I'm not able to do that full-fledged right now. But I have this TikTok, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I could make videos of stuff. I don't know. So I'm transitioning it to cozy hobbies, cozy life, that type of vibe. I'm trying to have that aesthetic for it. It's very slow going. But so far, I've made a couple, like, just me coloring a page. It's nice. I think it's calming. Junk journaling pages, you know. I like watching people do that. So it's like, I can do that. I don't know. I'll throw random shit up there. Who cares? Who cares? It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. Go give that a follow if you want. If you want to see what I like to do in my downtime. I'm like, do that. I'll, make my Lego flowers.
Nice.
Make an iced coffee. I mean, people are making that stuff. I'm watching it. I'll do it too. Why not? So.
Why not? Yeah, you're absolutely right.
So yeah, if you want, come join me over there. Anyway, we made these iced coffees. They're delicious. I'm giving this a 5 out of 5.
I think this is a 4.5 for me. I'm not going to give it a full out 5 because I feel like I couldn't drink this every day. That's why I'm saying that. Because it's like too sweet. It's too like special occasion-y for me.
You know what? Okay, that's fine. 4.75.
You can still give it a 5. It's okay.
I'll do
4.75. I'll even go to 4.75. It's very good. I just like the 5 out of 5s that we've done. I could see myself like every single day drinking that.
That's fair. I'm with you. It is sweet. This is a special occasion drink.
Yeah. Start of season 2. Woo!
Woo! I have such a weird energy today. Okay. It's been a weird weekend.
I love it. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. Okay. All right. Well, that's enough of that. We're ready. Let's get into season 2. I'm Julia.
I'm Alex.
And this is Sisters in Stars Hollow, season 2, episode 1, Sadie. So we open to Stars Hollow. We're picking up right where we left off from last episode. There's happy music playing. I found love. Da, 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 da. Everyone's walking around, riding their bikes, and we see there are yellow daisies everywhere in the town.
All over the town.
Everyone is just like covered in yellow daisies.
Yeah, they're even like stuck in like funny places. Like if you look closely in the background, like I saw a car where they had been put into the like grills of the front of the car, like stuff like that. Of course, I was looking for that. I was like, did Lorelai and Rory just come here? Like, where can we put all of these?
Well, I think that's kind of funny to think about. It's like, so how did all of these things get everywhere? At night, Rory and Lorelai are like stuffing them in like places.
Yeah, so, like, they spent the whole night bringing them from the inn into the town center. It has to be.
But I also think, okay, here it is. This is the whimsy that's happening. Right now. It's like everything is covered in daisies. And it's like,
I loved it.
Like, isn't that, what didn't this open up so good?
Yes, it really did. Like, I felt a strange emotion. I couldn't put it in, like, watching that scene. Seriously.
Yeah,
like, it was like, like, it actually made me appreciate even more the whole thing of the daisies.
Yes, right.
This scene did.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have when I just saw the other scene.
Sure.
I just only had that scene. Like, but now that I had also this scene, it's like,
the yellow daisies, like you get chills. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, anyway. Like it had like a magical feel to it.
Yes. There it is. I'm telling you.
And I know you've said this. Okay, this scene definitely felt that way to me. And I don't know that I can pinpoint
that before.
Yeah, like I don't
know that
I can.
It's funny too with me watching this. Like, again, I've never looked at it this closely in detail. I've just watched it and felt those things. And so I almost have like imposter syndrome sometimes where I'm like, as a big fan of this show, I'm always like second guessing. Like, I keep saying there's like this magic and this whimsy and this whatever, but I'm like, when I try to think through it, I'm like, there's little bits that I can think of, but I don't always like know it.
Yeah.
And then these things happen. I'm like, there it is. That's what I'm talking about.
I was right.
But yeah, that's how we start this season. The whole town is covered with yellow daisies. And we see Lorelai and Rory, they're walking through town, and we hear Rory say, "You should get married in Italy." Rory is just going on about the different things that Lorelai should do for her wedding. And Lorelai is just like, "Is there anything else we can talk about?" She's just not into this conversation. Rory says, "Why don't you want to talk about this?" And Lorelai says, "Well, because I haven't made up my mind yet about the yes or no part. So I don't want to fantasize about all the wedding things until I decide what I want to do." And she wants to change the subject. So they stop talking for a minute, and then Rory says, "I think the bridesmaids should be able to pick their own dresses." Which also I'm like, interesting.
Why do you think that's interesting?
I don't know.
When this show was made, that was
not a popular thing to do. Now it is.
Yeah.
Now that's a lot of wedding parties do that.
Yeah.
Back then, no. I guess that was a thing people
Maybe
were talking
it was
about.
a thing people were, we were too young to know that, I guess. So
I just found it interesting that it's like a modern thought.
It's a modern thought, yeah. It's very modern.
Anyway, but Rory says that comment and Rory bringing back up the wedding makes Lorelai want to make a noose and hang herself. I marked this as a little spooky, and also I was like, I don't know, maybe that's a red flag.
Yeah, maybe that's not a good sign of your relationship if talking about it makes you want to hang yourself.
I don't know. Let's just stop there for a minute.
Yeah.
Like, if the thought of thinking about having to say yes or no to this and thinking about the wedding and thinking about this is like, I just want to hang myself. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's something you should reflect on. Maybe.
Just my 2 cents. Rory says, all right, that's fine. She is holding a bouquet of yellow daisies and says, I'm going to go take these to Lane. So she runs off, and Lorelai wants her to meet her at Luke's. Also, I feel like there are way more than 1,000 yellow daisies here. Even in the end scene, I feel like there are way more than 1,000 yellow daisies. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have played too many guess how many of something are in a jar from like bridal showers and baby showers, you know?
You've like developed a skill, like you have a calibrated eye for counting large numbers of objects.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm like, there's way more. I'm sorry, but there's way more than 1,000 yellow daisies in that scene. In the scene before, I think there's way more.
Okay, I would believe that.
So
not accurate, producers.
That's all. We fade to the intro and fade out. Rory is going over to Kim's antique. She gets inside and we see Lane. She's fighting with her mom, and we find out that she's upset because Lane's parents are sending her to Korea for the summer to visit with her cousins, and they will not tell her when she's returning. It's a one-way ticket. And her parents are being weirdly secretive about this. They're whispering about it in their room. And Lane is like really kind of stressed out about this. She thinks she's never coming back. She thinks she's going there for the rest of her life. Rory's trying to calm her down. Maybe think through some logical reasoning about what's going on here. Maybe there's a deal with the airline or plans with the cousins that haven't been totally worked out, or the weather to consider, or the holiday, or I don't know. She's like, I'm just going to miss you. I don't know what's going on. And you hear Mrs. Kim call Lane. She's like, Lane, come here, please. And Lane's just like, bye, Rory. You've been a good friend. I'm like, what is happening?
What is happening? But I really feel like I need to have a conversation with you about what is going on with the Lane situation. We can table that.
So that's happening throughout this. Flashback to Stars Hollow. Lorelai is walking around and she passes the magazine stand, and it's filled with all of these bridal magazines. She talks to the guy that runs the magazine stand. His name is Bootsy.
Is he a new character?
He makes a few appearances.
Okay, because I was like, a new character. Season 2. New town character.
Bootsy. He's around.
Okay.
I remember that name. Is it just from this episode? I don't know. Lorelai picks up a newspaper and she's walking and she looks back at the bridal magazines. And apparently she doesn't want Bootsy to see that she's reading them. So she kind of like takes one and like is looking inward. But Rory walks up behind her and is like, what do you got there? Getting ideas? And Rory ends up buying the magazine for her. And Lorelai's just like, don't do that. I don't know. Blah. And then Miss Patty approaches, sees that Lorelai has the magazine and goes, oh, you said yes. You said yes. And Lorelai says, no, not yet. And they're all like, yet? She said yet. I just love this. Ah. And then Miss Patty goes, have you told Luke? Lorelai says, no, it just happened last night. And Miss Patty's very concerned look on her face. She's like, oh.
Very concerned.
She's very concerned. Lorelai says, it's no big deal. I'll tell him. It's not a big deal if he just finds out. And so Lorelai and Rory are walking over to Luke's, and Miss Patty says, be gentle.
Yeah. So she tells Miss Patty that she's actually about to go to Luke's right now, and she'll probably just tell him now. And then that is what spurs on the large following of townsfolk to follow them towards Luke's. I have to pause here. Was it established before that just people in the town just like know that Luke has a thing for Lorelai? Is that just like common knowledge? Because I didn't think that was, but all of a sudden it is in this episode.
They're establishing it now.
Okay. Like, was Miss Patty ever in a conversation where she was like, oh, you two? I can't remember that ever happening. And now it's like, all of a sudden, it's like, well, we all know that Luke has a thing for you. And she's like, what? No, he doesn't. Like this whole scene is like, the whole town knows that Luke likes her. And it's like, whoa, when did that happen?
I don't know that that's been established before. I think that right now they're like, we're going to make this a thing where the whole town knows that Luke likes Lorelai, even though no one's ever said that.
Yeah, well, it was a thing because half the town followed them to the cafe, and they were looking through the windows as they sat down.
What was going on? Yeah, kind of creepy, actually. Masses,
is this a spooky moment?
Masses of the town are just gathering behind them to follow. It's a little bit. It's kind of creepy.
You're just like walking down the street. You're going to your morning routine coffee shop. You look behind you. There's like 20 people just following
you. Like
they're not talking. They're just following you. Spooky moment.
That's kind of spooky. That's like that one movie.
Which movie?
Oh God, what is it called?
Wait, the one that's called It Follows?
Oh, It Follows. It Follows.
Wait, this reminded you of that movie?
Right now. Right in this moment as we were talking. I'm like, it's like It Follows.
That's funny. Yeah. Spooky moment contender.
It's a contender. Anyway, so they walk into Luke's. The whole town rushes the windows and is staring inside. And Rory's like, okay, you need to go do this now and tell Luke before someone like breaks down a window because they're like really pressing in. I mean, it's kind of creepy. Lorelai says, this is crazy. She doesn't understand what's going on. And Rory says, everyone knows that Luke has a thing for you. Lorelai says, it's not a thing. We can barely get through a conversation without biting each other's heads off. Everything about me repulses that man. My coffee drinking habits, my eating habits. Remember when I called him Ranger Bob last week? He hated that. But eventually, Lorelai does approach the counter. Luke notices everyone staring in the windows, and he's like, what's going on with them? He says, everyone in the town needs to be medicated and put in a rec room with ping pong tables and hand puppets. So they're all nuts.
They're all nuts.
They're all nuts. And Lorelai's just like, oh, yeah. Well, look, I have something to tell you. Something to share with you. And he's like, yeah? Okay.
Like, okay, what is it?
She's like getting all nervous, and she says, when exciting things happen in your life, you want to share them with people in your life who you think will find them exciting. She goes and she says, Max has asked me to marry him. And Luke, he doesn't really give much away, just kind of stares and nods, and he's like, yeah, I figured. Says it was obvious you two were getting kind of close. He's been around a lot. And last night, when you came in here with that life-changing comment, he put two and two together and figured it out. Says, congratulations, by the way. And Lorelai is kind of shocked by this. I don't know what she was expecting him to do.
I don't know if she knew, but he was very just like even keel, like
too nonchalant.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay, congrats. Yeah, figured. All right.
Yeah, it was like that.
Trying really hard not
to show any emotion in any way.
To look like that he didn't care. And so she's like, oh, okay, thanks. And Luke asks if they set a date yet. Lorelai says no, because she hasn't accepted yet. And he says, well, you're going to say yes. She's like, what? Well, how do you know? And he says, because you're making a big deal about telling me that he proposed. She's like, no, I'm not. I'm just sharing this with you. Like when you break a popsicle in two and you share it. And he's like, so you're sharing a popsicle with me? She's like, yeah, okay, well, now you know. Can I have some muffins? She's getting frustrated. And Luke says, well, I think it's good that you're doing this. And that really relieves her. She needed his approval almost to do this. She's like, oh, you do? Thank you. Oh my gosh. And then he goes, where are you going to live? Here at Hartford. And she's like, what? I don't know. We haven't talked about that. And he's like, well, Hartford makes sense because it's close to Rory's school. She's like, oh, yeah. He's like, but then you'll be far from the inn. She's like, oh, yeah. But how long will you work once you're married? But you probably already talked about that, right? She's like, what?
It's like, he just keeps going.
He keeps going.
He's like, does he want kids?
Yeah. Do you want kids? I mean, he wants kids, right? you guys have talked about that, right? And she's like, whoa, okay. You know what we have or haven't discussed is none of your business. But he keeps going. He's like, joint checking accounts? You know his last name, don't you? And Lorelai goes, I want my popsicle back. And Luke is just like, it's all right. It's your business. People go their entire lives without discussing those things. My parents didn't discuss those things my entire childhood, and it worked fine for them. Of course, when my mom died, she didn't tell my dad where the coupon drawer was. It took him 10 years to find it. And I'm like, Luke, you sneaky you.
He's like weaseling in there. He's like, did you think about this?
He's like, yeah, congrats. This is great for you. Okay, so what about this? You gotta talk about this. I know you haven't. And she's like, yeah. Like, you little you. You little you. Even in the last episode, too, he's like, I'm always around. I'm doing stuff for Lorelai. I'm doing and he's like, he's really like, in his own way, trying to like break them up.
Yeah, kind of. I have to say, though, he's kind of right with all of that.
I agree with him.
Yeah, like you haven't talked about any of those important things. That's actually a really reasonable question to ask. Like, are you going to stay like, are you guys going to live here? Are you going to move to Hartford? I have no idea. Oh, you haven't talked about that? Like
that's a very basic thing to have discussed. Again, this proposal is built off of, we're fighting, so let's get married. And it's like, what? How long were they even together at this point? After they got back together?
I don't know.
Not very long.
Yeah.
He's weaseling his way, but he's also not wrong.
Right. Some of those questions are very reasonable for just like a good friend of yours to ask you.
Yeah,
you're like, I just got engaged. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Well, you guys aren't living together. Are you going to like, what are you going to do? I don't know. You don't know.
You don't know?
Like, don't you think that'd be kind of like, oh, okay, like, you haven't figured that out. Like, that'd be strange, right? Like,
it would be.
Yeah,
it would be strange.
That's what this was. Like,
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
You little you. But clearly, obviously, this is upsetting Lorelai because she's getting called out for things she should be called out for.
Yeah.
She's like, can I just have my muffins? She takes her muffins and he says, congrats again. She's annoyed. She walks back to the table. You can see the whole town outside is now crowded around something else. And apparently Kirk was in the crowd and he fainted.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
Okay.
Rory says, oh, how did Luke take it? And Lorelai says, fine. He took it fine. But she stares back at him, sad. We flash to Friday night dinner. Emily answers and she's like, you're here! Richard, they're here! Come in. Very out of character.
Spooky moment contender.
We were taken
aback. I'm kind of joking, but it was like, whoa. Like, whoa. Emily, whoa.
Come in. And Lorelai's like, no. No. And Emily goes, why? And Lorelai goes, because you're scaring Rory.
Yeah.
Emily's like, oh, stop it, get in here. You're so silly, scaring Rory. Oh, my God. And it's like, what is happening?
What is happening?
They're on something.
Yeah.
What drugs did they take before this? But she rushes them into the sitting room. She's all excited. Emily's like, oh, so what's new with you girls? And Lorelai's like, nothing. Doesn't want to bring up what's going on with her because clearly something's happening with Emily. And she was supposed to wait till Richard got in the room, but she couldn't wait any longer. Emily's like, well, as you know, I'm good friends with Biddy Charleston, the headmaster's wife at Chilton. And we have this little arrangement where she keeps me apprised of all the goings on at Chilton. She tells me the gossip of the students and their parents and any information I might find useful. So this adds to the spookiness a little bit, actually. Yeah. It's like...
it's like, whoa,
what's happening? Okay.
Any information I might find useful
about the parents and their children.
How?
It's like blackmail people. Like what? Like that's
exactly.
Like what information?
You're like giving her like people's like dirty laundry so that you can like use it against them or something. Like what?
Like what? But that afternoon, Biddy had called Emily and found out that Rory finished in the top 3% of her class. Lorelai is like, yeah, I know. Emily's like, what? You do? Who do you know at Chilton? She's like, Rory.
I know Rory.
And Rory's like, well, it wasn't definite, but I had a pretty good idea. And Emily's like, oh.
She's like so disappointed that she couldn't like share that news with them.
Yeah. And Richard comes on and he's like, Rory, wonderful news. You finished the top 3% of your class. And Lorelai's like, yeah, we were just being told that. And Richard's like, Emily, I told you not to say anything until I got here. And they're fighting back and forth about it.
Can I just tell you about the quote that I wrote down that Emily says before she gets disappointed that they already knew about the thing? I had Antonia make Roquefort puffs. Antonia, bring the puffs. What? Down. I was laughing so hard.
That's what got
And when she's in her like frenzy, she's like walking them into
her manic state.
Like, yes, I was laughing.
Wait, what were the puffs?
Roquefort puffs. What like Roquefort cheese?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
It's a type of cheese.
Oh, Roquefort.
Roquefort it's like a French cheese. I think it's French. Yeah, it's a type of cheese.
Okay.
I know that for sure. I had Antonia make Roquefort puffs. Antonia, bring the puffs.
Bring out the puffs. It's like,
oh my God. Happening?
Oh my God. So funny to see them in like not their usual state of like.
It really is. Yeah.
But yes, Emily and Richard are very proud of Rory and they want to celebrate with a special dinner next Friday with Rory's favorite foods, and there'll be presents, and they're just going on about how excited they are. During this, Lorelai, she looks at her hands. She's wearing a butterfly ring on a finger and takes it from one finger and puts it on her ring finger. Stares at it. Antonia announces that dinner is ready, so they all get up to go to dinner. And Lorelai says, okay, I'll be there in a minute. I have to go check in at the end. Emily's like, okay, well, hurry up, whatever. So she goes out to the back and she calls Max. He answers the phone and Lorelai immediately starts asking the questions that Luke brought up.
Yep.
Being like, where are we going to live? We have to figure this stuff out. You know, I have a kid and a life and a ton of stuff. And over the years, I've accumulated a lot of stuff. I don't know how it got there, but it's there and it needs a place to live. And I want to work and I like my bank. And she's just going on and on and on. And Max is like, wait, Lorelai, calm down. Calm down. Let's talk. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Doing a good impression there.
Talk to me. And then she goes, I don't know. It's just before I die, I want you to know where the coupon drawer is.
Why does she always do this?
What? No.
She always does this. She always like gives somebody these like analogies that are like very clearly some type of inside joke or inside knowledge that they aren't going to understand what the heck you're talking about. Why do you always do that, Lorelai? It's so annoying.
Come on. And he's like, I would like that. That's what you would like, Max, to know where the coupon drawer is?
He doesn't know what
you don't even know what you're saying.
You don't know what she's talking about.
None of you have any idea about what's going on.
No one knows anything.
And she's just like, we need to figure out these things before. And she pauses and he goes, before what? Well, are you saying yes? No, that's not what she was saying. Calm down, everybody. Are you saying yes? Why are you asking me that?
What? This whole conversation upset me. Okay,
I know, it was so annoying. Well, why are you asking me that? Because you called me out of the blue, completely panicked about where we're going to live and bank accounts and coupon drawers. And she's like, well, those are important things to discuss. And he's like, I agree, especially if you're saying yes. Are you? Sorry, I don't know why he became like this, like, bro. This weird bro. You're especially important, especially if you're saying yes. Are you, Lorelai? Are you saying yes? Like Max doesn't not sound like that.
That's not what he talks like.
I don't know where I don't know. Okay, just pause.
Okay,
Stop.
Let's pause.
No, these are especially important if you're going to think about getting married.
Yeah, why does she have to have said a yes
to discuss
those things? That's false.
That is incorrect. Max Medina, I thought you were a smart man. You're an idiot.
He's just emotionally charged, and he's manipulating her into saying yes to a wedding proposal. So, I don't know what that means. Is he an idiot? I don't know.
He's not an idiot.
I don't know.
Idiot's the incorrect word. I misspoke. I just think you're not thinking.
He's not thinking straight.
I guess his point was right a few episodes. He's like, I'm not thinking. I don't know what I'm doing. You're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
He's still doing that.
Yeah. The same patterns have repeated. Anyway, it just bothered me. He's like, this is important if you're saying yes.
But if you're not saying yes, it's not important.
Or to discuss? No.
No, you can discuss all those things.
And then decide, yeah, this makes sense. But we don't see what she says. We just flash back to the dinner. Emily, Rory, and Richard are talking about how excited they are. And Richard's like, oh, I can't wait to tell Telman McCabe about this. He's always bragging about that simpleton grandson of his. And Emily's like, William is a lovely boy. And he goes, his head is shaped like a football. If he fell asleep in a park, someone would punt him.
I definitely missed that line.
I was like, oh my God.
That's savage.
Put this on the list of some of Richard's most savage quotes. And Emily's like, Telman is a very dear friend of yours. And he's like, yes, he is. And one should always share wonderful news with one's very good friends.
Okay.
Richard, you little you.
You little you.
Anyway, so they continue having this discussion about how excited they are, and we see Lorelai come into the hallway, and she just stares at Rory from the hallway, and Rory looks over, and Lorelai just kind of like is smiling, and she's kind of like just like happy nodding, and Rory just screams like, "Ah!" and gets up and runs over to her, and Richard and Emily are scared by this. They're like, "Oh my God, they spilled food all over themselves," and Emily, what are they doing? What's happening? And Rory and Lorelai are just jumping up and down and screaming like, "Oh my God, why?" And they're like, what is happening? And they're just like, oh, sorry, we're just jazzed about this 3% thing. Yeah, really jazzed. And Emily's just like, Richard, don't even try to understand. I don't know.
Why didn't they want to tell them? So I thought that in the moment. I was like, why doesn't... I could kind of understand if it like wasn't confirmed yet, but like that moment,
yeah,
I feel like Lorelai could have...
If all things were normal, I think this would have been the time to say, hey, I'm engaged. But I think from Lorelai's side of things, she doesn't want her parents involved in her personal life. In that moment, it was just like a moment where she wanted to be happy about it. And I feel like potentially if she told her parents then, there's that possibility of them being like making comments that would ruin the moment.
Okay.
I kind of have seen that happen a little bit already. I can understand where you're coming from, where you're like, why aren't you telling? But it's the same thing as like, you know how she didn't want Emily in Stars Hollow, right? She doesn't want her parents in her space, in
her happy place.
Yes.
Okay.
I could see her feeling like if she shares this, it's going to get ruined.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
But inappropriate if you do feel that way to do that in front of them and just be like, and then to be like, it's nothing. It's like, okay. Okay. Then we flash to the Independence Inn. We are in the kitchen. Suki's walking around. She's working in the kitchen. She's looking at some lobsters, and she sticks her hand in, and one of them bites her.
She's all getting hurt.
She's walking around the kitchen. Michel is in there. He's weighing turkey. He has a weird obsession with his health and wanting to be like super healthy and stuff. So I think that's kind of what they're showing there with that. But Lorelai comes in. She's like, I have wonderful news to tell. And Michelle's like, I don't care, peace. And he leaves the kitchen. Lorelai tells Suki she's engaged. And Suki's like, no. Lorelai's like, no? What? Suki, what is going on?
Yeah, it got to the point where it was like, is Suki upset about this?
Yeah, right. But Suki's like, no, it's just, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. Max is a wonderful man. It is Max, right? I love it. And then Suki's like, okay, who's catering? Obviously, it's gonna be her. And so Suki immediately starts like making a menu. She's like, okay, we're gonna have this. She starts crying. Lorelai's like, Suki, like, what's going on? And she's like, I don't know. You raised that little girl all alone, and she's so great, and you work your butt off here, and you go to school, and you just really deserve this. And they give each other a hug, and it's really sweet. And then Jackson comes in. He sees Suki crying, and he's like, are you okay? Are you hurt? And Suki's like, no, Lorelai's getting married. And immediately Jackson is like, oh, congrats. And Suki's like thinking of side dishes with vegetables. Suki's like, well, what do you think is the most romantic vegetable? Jackson's like, no, I'm the wrong guy to ask. And she's like, well, you're the vegetable guy. He's like, I'm a vegetable guy, but I'm not the romantic vegetable guy. I wouldn't even know what vegetable to serve at a wedding. I've never even been to a wedding. Well, one wedding, my one cousin, Bon Bon. Yes, that's his real name. And I didn't stay long, and I didn't notice the vegetables, and I'm not the guy to be asking about wedding vegetables. I'm not the wedding vegetable guy. And he like storms off. And Lorelai and Suki are like, I think Jackson's got the panic my girlfriend wants me to marry face. And she's like, yeah, they're just kind of laughing about it. Like,
that wasn't what was happening.
We flash to this little scene where Rory calls Lane, and Lane is in her psychedelic closet. They're just kind of talking about, like, does Lane have any more news about what's going on? But she doesn't. She called the consulate.
Yeah, she's basically, she's trying to do detective work to figure out information about, like, her rights if she gets shipped off to Korea. That's the gist of the scene. That's the
gist of the scene, and she doesn't have any.
Yeah, because she's a minor in the care of her family, basically.
Yeah, I'm getting shipped out there, and there's nothing I can do about it. And it's like, oh my gosh.
What is happening again?
Then we flash to the Gilmore house. Rory and Lorelai are in the kitchen, and they're just talking wedding stuff. The phone rings. Rory answers, and it's Max. He's calling because he wants to go ring shopping for Lorelai and is asking Rory to help him pick out a ring, one that Lorelai will actually like. Rory's on the phone. Her mom's right there.
She's supposed to be giving a consultation away from her mom, but no. She goes and sits right next to her and starts feeding her the information.
Max starts to list off the rings, the 3 options that he has.
There's a simple classic one is option 1.
Gold band, square diamond, no good.
Option 2 is more extravagant.
It's an engagement band, small diamonds all around, white gold, and there's a wedding band that fits into it. That one was so-so for Lorelai. And then the third, it's from the 20s, large diamond in the middle, small clusters of diamonds on the sides, and it's a little deco. I was like, okay, that's me.
Yeah, the Art Deco.
Yeah, I love
aesthetic.
Art Deco. Oh, I love the Art Deco aesthetic, yes. That's what I want.
That's what I want surrounding me in my life.
That's the one Lorelai likes. I'm like, oh, another thing her and I have in common.
That's
apparently.
true.
But to signal to Rory that that's the one that she wants, she starts like panting like a dog. It was kind of disturbing. Alexander doesn't feel the same way.
I don't know that I was disturbed,
I was
but
disturbed.
It was like just again one of those moments where I'm just like, how old are you? You're just acting goofy. Like you're not acting like a mature, normal
There's
adult.
nothing wrong with being goofy and a little silly. Like, I'm not saying you can't be like that, but it was weird.
She put her hands up and started going, yep, like that.
Yes, yipping like a little
yipping,
puppy.
Bark kind of sound at the table.
And panting.
Next to her daughter. Yeah. It was weird.
Just weird. It disturbed me.
You're allowed to be disturbed
I
by
was
whatever
disturbed.
you want.
Anyway, Max figures out that Lorelai was there the whole time because he heard her yipping in the background.
Yeah, also he didn't think anything of that. Like, what?
Apparently he's fine with that. I don't know.
He literally says on the phone, I know your mom's there. I heard her bark. So it's like, has she done this before?
Apparently so.
What
the heck? I'm disturbed. Anyway, so Rory passes the phone to her mom so they can talk. At that time, Dean arrives at the house.
It's Dean.
It's Dean.
In season 2.
He's looking fresh.
Yeah.
Didn't he look fresh?
I think he looked good this episode.
He looks really good. I know I feel weird saying that as an adult, but he looked good, okay?
Yeah,
he looked showered.
He took a shower this season. That's good.
He didn't look dirty. His hair didn't look greasy.
He didn't look like he just came from the junkyard, working on the car in the junkyard.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was looking fresh. I'm trying to say.
It was his season 2 debut.
Yes.
So he looked good.
He looked good. He arrives. He's like, oh, where's your mom? Oh, she's on the phone. Okay, takes Rory outside to kiss her. And he says he misses that.
So cute.
Because, they recently just got back together, I guess. Because, again, this is like just coming off last season. So it's like pretty fresh for them.
Yeah, wait, didn't this just happen like the day before?
A day or two
ago? Or
wait,
no, 2 days ago?
Yeah, maybe.
Wait, what day is it?
Last episode also, the timing of everything happening was a little confusing, but we never talked about it. But I don't know. It's like a couple days, a day or two later.
Okay, a couple days.
So it's like they just got back together, which is exciting. And they're like, oh, they agree, like this whole breakup thing, we tried it, we didn't like it, that's not for us. We're back together. Woohoo.
We'll never have problems again. Remember when we used to have problems? I don't remember all the words. Oh my gosh.
That's from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Yes, it is.
That's the vibe.
That is the vibe, of this moment.
Yes.
Like, if you haven't seen Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, it's a
it.
comedy. It's very good. There's lots of songs. Soundtrack's great. I'll leave it at that.
Go watch it. They walk into the kitchen. Lorelai picked out her ring. She likes the 20s one. Dean is over because they're all going to watch a movie together. Joan and Melissa Rivers show.
I didn't know what they were talking
I didn't know.
about.
But they got real intense about it. It was very reminiscent of the vibe of
the Donna Reed episode. Which made me think twice. Is this actually good? Or is this just another Rory Lorelai weird obsession?
Yeah.
We don't know.
We don't know because we never actually saw what happened, but it's probably that. I think Dean at one point does make a comment of oh God, do we actually have to watch this? Rory walks out of the room to go get the movie ready or something. I don't know. She leaves the room for a second. Lorelai and Dean are left in the kitchen together. So Lorelai approaches Dean and it's nice to have you back. And Dean says, it's nice to be back. And Lorelai goes, we missed you. And Dean says, I missed you guys too. And then Lorelai says, no, I mean, we really, really missed you. And there's a split second where you're
what is this?
I've made these comments before.
Is it the first time where it's there's a question mark of what?
Is there a weird flirtation happening here?
This is weird.
It got a little touch and go there though. Could have been in a different way, a more lighter way. We really, really miss you.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, you want me to change the water? It's yeah.
Can I also say, the end of the scene, he goes, oh, you want me to change the water? Yeah. I didn't know what they were talking about. What do you mean change the water? What does that mean? I don't know what.
Wait, do you know what they were talking
about? But then I figured it out once they showed him outside.
Yeah.
Before that was shown, I was like, what do you mean he has to go outside to change the water? What does that mean? Is the water of your house coming from like a giant like hamster bottle like outside of the house? Like, it was like, what?
Especially because he was like, let me get the rag. And it's like, are you about to do, like, what are you doing? It was a little like, what?
What? I didn't know what they were talking about. I was like, what do you mean change the water? Where? What?
Yeah, so this whole thing. But the reason I'm like, because she got uncomfortably close.
I'm not justifying it.
There's something inappropriate happening here. We're not shown it, but I'm telling you, there's weird flirtations.
There are weird flirtations.
There's
been multiple things. I just like remember over the course of all the episodes, she made a comment about his butt once.
Yes, she did.
There was the scene at the window.
Yeah,
that was weird.
Was real weird.
And there's this scene.
So just keep that in your back of your head. Everyone else out there.
Gonna be disturbed.
Just be disturbed with them.
Like, I never noticed that. Well, now you did. Now you... What?
Now you did.
That didn't make any sense.
What'd it do?
Anyway. So then he goes outside to get
the water for those
for those water dispenser things that you put a giant water bottle on top of it and get water out of it.
Yeah.
It was that. That's what she meant by change the water. Okay.
So he goes out to do that. Rory, she goes outside. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. She already has you doing chores already. And he's like, I don't mind. It's not a big deal. This is when Rory's like, hey, I have this special dinner happening for me next Friday night. I was told I could invite someone. She's like, it's this really special dinner. And I figure like you've never seen my grandparents' house and you've never met my grandfather. Like I really want you to meet him. I think it could be really nice. And Dean is a little hesitant because he's like, I don't know. The last time I had any interaction with them was with your grandmother, and that did not end too good because it was the dance where they stayed out all night.
Yep.
And that wasn't good. So he's rightfully like, I don't know about that. And Rory's like, no, that happened so long ago. Like, they forgot about that.
They don't even remember that happened.
Like, it'll be good. My grandfather's going to love you. It'll be great. He's like, do you really want me to go? And she does. And so he says he will.
That's nice.
That's nice. And then we hear from the kitchen, Lorelai being like, oh, that coffee can is so high up there. Whatever will I do? She's calling Dean to help her reach a coffee can. And it's like,
stop being so weird.
See, this is weird.
It's weird. It's weird.
Come on, guys.
It is.
Everyone out there.
Really
it's weird. A little strange.
It's like the damsel in distress voice. You're like the adult in the house right now. Like, stop. I don't like it.
It was giving me weird vibes. So that was a little strange. We flash to Emily and Richards. It is the night of Friday night dinner. Emily goes to answer the door. She's excited. And then she sees Dean. Rory's like, oh, yeah, you remember Dean. And she's like, oh, yes, how nice to see you again. And Dean's like, thanks. Yeah, your house is great. I've never seen a house this huge before. Emily's like, well, thank you. So few people bother to notice the hugeness of the house anymore. And Lorelai's like, Mom, it was so nice of you to let Rory invite a friend over tonight. It was so nice of you. Be nice. So Emily's like, okay, all right, come in. Invites them all in for a drink. And they're kind of saying what they want. And then Lorelai goes, and Dean will have a beer. Why did she do this?
Yeah, I don't know. This whole thing with the beer thing made me really uncomfortable.
And upsetting.
Actually. Yeah.
She goes, yeah, Dean will have a beer. And Dean's like, no. I don't want beer. I don't like beer. I've never had beer. Beer is bad. Well, he's like, Dean, relax. It's okay. Lorelai has a weird sense of humor. Like, you're fine. And Dean's like, yeah, no, I'm just going to sit here and stare at my hands. And then Emily asks what Rory wants, and Rory goes, oh, I'll have a beer. They all laugh, and Rory's like, oh, Dean, we're not laughing at you. It was just funny. And both Lorelai and Emily are like, no, we were. We were laughing at you a little bit. What?
That whole scene, I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I feel so bad for him.
Yes.
That was so awkward and like weird and like inappropriate. I don't know. It's just the whole thing was weird. I was watching this and I was like uncomfortable on his behalf. I was like, this is so... And why did Rory also make a joke about it? Like, what?
Right.
Out of character for her.
And it started because Lorelai made the joke. And it's like, you know the history here. You just saw how your mom was like, ugh, you know. I guess maybe trying to lighten the mood, but at Dean's expense.
Yeah, I think they were trying to lighten the mood, but why would you do it that way? Like, no, do it a different Wait.
No, no. I did not like that. And so Dean's like, ha. He's not upset. He's just like, okay, I'm just nervous, whatever. At that time, Richard comes into the room. He's excited and sees Dean and immediately is like angry. And Rory introduces him. Richard just kind of stares and says hello. And Dean gets up and tries to shake his hand. Richard just ignores him, just wants nothing to do with him, starts talking about something else. And so Dean sits down, he's feeling a little uncomfortable and whispers to Lorelai, like, should we do the beer thing again? And Lorelai is like, no, I don't think so. That's not going to work to lighten the mood here. We fade to dinner. Emily made beefaroni.
Because apparently Rory requested that as her favorite food.
So there you go. Rory likes beefaroni. Emily goes, yeah, the maid thought I was insane. And Lorelai's like, well... And Emily says, no one needs a comment from you. And then Emily says, Dean, would you like some more? And Dean's like, and he looks at Richard, and Richard is like staring him down. And he's like, no, that's okay. So then Emily's like, oh, Rory, I have presents for you, and gives her a present. It's some very nice pens. And Rory's trying to thank her grandparents and thank Richard, but he's just quiet. And he looks disgusted. Emily's like, okay, how about dessert? And they're having Twinkies for dessert. Lorelai's just like, I never thought I'd hear those words come out of your mouth. Like, we're having Twinkies, okay? And Emily's like, don't get used to it. That was funny. And Richard all of a sudden just goes, so Dean. And everyone's kind of shocked. They all look like, oh, whoa, he's talking. He goes, so Dean, where are you going to college? And Lorelai's like, okay, geez, Dad, maybe we can start off with like, what's your favorite baseball team or something? Something a little lighter. But Richard persists and Dean says, I'm not sure. And then he asks, what kind of grades does Dean get? Emily's trying to be like, okay, don't grill the boy. Like, let's relax. Richard's like, I'm not grilling. It's an easy question. A's, B's, C's. And Dean says he gets a mixture. Richard's like, what's the ratio? You know,
what's
like,
the ratio?
Okay. Well, okay. Dean says that. He's like, look, I'm not great in math. I get it, Dean. That was my poorest subject. And Lorelai's trying to be like, really, who is great at math? You know, mathematicians, blackjack dealers, I guess. Stephen Hawking, you know, he probably was good in math, but, you know. And she's trying to change the subject and to help him out. You know, be like, okay, because she knows where this is kind of going.
Yes.
And she's like, you know what else is good, Mom? A ho-ho. A good ho-ho.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't find a Twinkie, you can treat yourself to a nice ho-ho. It's like really awkward. And Lorelai's like, gosh, how long does it take to open a box? And Emily's like, she's making them.
She's making Twinkies? Okay.
And Emily, too, is sensing what's going on here. So she's like, Richard, like, why don't you give Rory the book that you wanted to give her, which was Menthington Christophany.
That was an attempt.
Menkins? Menthol?
I don't remember the guy's name. Menken's Christomathy? Something like that.
Something like that. That was mentioned in another episode, I think.
It was. A long time ago. Rory wanted to read a copy of Menken's Christomathy in his office.
Yes.
I'm saying it wrong, too.
Oh, which really quick, speaking of, I put out a little quip?
A quip?
A quip and a clip. I was talking about, would Rory read A Court of Thorns and Roses? Like, what do people think? And someone did respond, and other people like this. They agree with us that Rory is very philosophical and would not be a romantic girl. So we were correct, I think, in us thinking that. So thank you if you were out there, if you listened or you didn't, that responded to that little TikTok clip. That was nice. Thanks for the engagement. Anyway, just made me think of that. But Emily is sensing what's happening here. She's like, Richard, go, give that book to Rory that you wanted to give her. But he's like ignoring it totally. Continues to question Dean. Rory's trying to interrupt, but he ignores her and says, so Dean, do you know that Rory is applying to Ivy League schools? Harvard, Princeton, Yale. You need top grades to get into those schools. And Dean says, yeah, well, Rory's really smart. And Richard's like, yeah, Rory is really smart. And everyone, again, is just trying to interfere, but he's ignoring it, and he just continues, and he goes, so how are you planning to make a living once you graduate from this college you haven't thought about? And Dean doesn't respond right away. And Richard's like, I asked you a question. Whoa. Dean just says, I don't know what I want to do. And Richard says, when I was 10 years old, I knew exactly what I wanted to do, where I wanted to work. I knew I wanted to go to Yale, and I put on a nice suit every day and be a powerful man and be important in a firm. And I knew I wanted to travel and see the world. And Dean's like, that's great. Good for you. And he keeps going on about wanting to see this and that, see the La Scala Opera House. And Lorelai's like laughing, and Richard's like, it's not funny. And she's like, it's a little funny thinking of a 10-year-old wanting to dream of seeing the La Scala Opera House. And he's like, Rory does. Rory wants to travel. Rory has plans. And Lorelai says, well, Rory is special. And Richard says, exactly, Rory is special. Dean says, I know Rory's special. Rory butts in because she's getting upset. And she's like, Dean is special too. You don't even know him. He's incredible and he's special to me. And I bring him here and you attack him. And Richard gets offended by this. And then he says, this family has standards. You need to live up to them. You should expect everyone you spend time with to live up to them also. He says, you're bright, you're special. You should learn from a very early age that certain people will hold you back. Rory is like, stop that. You cannot treat Dean this way. Gets up and says, Dean, let's go. And they leave. I think Richard at one point gets up and storms off too. And then Lorelai and Emily are just left in the dinner room. And Lorelai's looking at her mom like, am I crazy or is this supposed to be us right now?
Yeah, I like
both
that.
Just like, yeah.
Like, am I crazy or was that supposed to be us?
Yeah. Like, what's happening? Oof, oof, oof. That's rough. We flash back to the Gilmore house. Lorelai, Rory, and Dean are arriving back home from the dinner. Lorelai invites Dean in for some dessert since they never got their Twinkies. But Dean's like, no, I should get going. And she's okay, says goodnight. And she's like, well, you officially became a Gilmore girl tonight.
Yeah.
Pretty typical. She leaves Rory and Dean outside, and Rory's just like, I don't know what to say. She tries to apologize. Dean's like, it's okay. It's not your fault. And he just wants to forget about it. And Rory's like, Dean, please don't be upset. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'm not upset. I have to go. He kisses Rory goodbye, says he'll call her tomorrow, and he leaves. I'm sure he was a little upset.
Yeah. He was kind of just like, yeah, that kind of sucked. But he's going to go home. And he's going to think about it all night.
And stew
in his thoughts.
So he leaves. We're back in the Gilmore house. Rory is rushing in. She's like, that man is impossible. This is crazy. He attacks Dean out of nowhere. He's a snob. He's this and he's that. And he shouts at you and you have to agree with him and blah, blah. It's very much like a Lorelai rant about her parents.
Like, exactly. It sounds exactly like Lorelai ranting about her parents.
Rory's just like, I've never seen him be mean like that before. I don't know how I will ever talk to him again. And Lorelai says, yeah, he was in fine form tonight, but Lorelai explains that, like, look, I don't think my father has ever loved anything more in this world than he loves you. Maybe this flip out didn't really come from anything that had to do with you or Dean. You're like the daughter they didn't have. You're going to graduate high school. You're going to go to college and go to Harvard, set the world on fire, and it looks like it's going to happen. Rory says it is going to happen. And she says, I know. And then you walk in with this beautiful boy.
Pause. You're right. I missed that one.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I remember her saying, anyway, I didn't like make that connection in that moment, but like, you're right. That was weird.
She called him beautiful. She's done it before. Beautiful, beautiful boy.
This is weird. I don't like this.
I want to go home.
I just want to go home.
She says, then you walk in with this beautiful boy and he has a terrible flashback that it's all going to go away. And Rory's like, I'm not going to get pregnant. And she's like, I know, but it's...
Yeah, basically he got triggered from a period of time that was traumatic for him.
He did, yes. This has been our group session.
This has been our... session analyzing Richard Gilmore.
So Lorelai's like, look, cut him a little slack. But then she says this, and if you cut him a little slack, I'll wear my porn star shirt to dinner next week. And Rory's like, deal.
What? I don't even know how to respond to that. Like, that's just like, both of you think that that's funny. The implication of that interaction is that there's a knowledge that Rory would want her mom to wear that shirt to dinner. And Lorelai is saying, you know how you've asked me before to wear a porn star shirt to the family dinner? Well, I'll do it if you cut him a little slack. You know, it's like that is like an
I guess you're right.
Because otherwise, you know what I'm saying? Like otherwise
it's been brought up before.
Yes.
It's been brought up before.
Like it's been brought up before. Exactly. Because otherwise what she says in this moment wouldn't have made any sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you cut him slack, I'll wear my porn star shirt to dinner. You know, it's like that's something that you like want. Like,
right.
What? It's so weird.
So strange.
I'm just going to maybe forget that
was said.
Happened.
Yeah. At that time, Rory gets another call from Lane. We see Lane. She goes, I just thought you should know that my parents brought in the suitcase that I'm supposed to take on my trip. And just to paint you a picture, it could fit you and me, plus everything we own, and still have enough room to do a little souvenir shopping.
I'm sorry.
I'm never coming back again. I love this little scene. It's so funny.
Just Lane on the phone next to this ginormous suitcase.
Like, the suitcase is taller than her, I think. Or like her height. And like 3 people wide. It's like
this super ginormous, like, that's not a real suitcase.
It's not real. It's not a real suitcase. Each thing gets escalated more and more. It's like I'm never returning.
I'm never coming back.
But then we flash to Emily and Richard. It's after dinner. They're arguing and discussing, and Richard's like, what is Lorelai thinking, letting Rory run around with a boy like that? She isn't thinking. She never thinks. And Emily's like, Richard, please, you're giving me a headache. Like, oh my God. Emily's like, well, I mean, like, we told her she could invite someone. You were right there when that happened. And he's like, I did not mean him. It's like, oh, could you calm down? He's like, I will not calm down. Did you hear how she talked to me? And she's like, you were attacking her boyfriend. You truly think a 16-year-old girl isn't going to date? And he's like, of course she's going to date. She should date. Proper socialization is important for a child, but she should not date one boy, and she should not date him.
You're being unfair.
And then the telephone rings, and he's like, don't answer that.
Like, what?
And so Emily goes to answer it, and it's Suki on the phone.
Yeah, I was like, oh no.
Uh-oh.
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 Cat's out of the bag. I don't use that phrase in
never
like
said
everyday speech
in your life.
It felt appropriate right now. I don't know.
That's fair. Suki's like, sorry to call so late, but I am planning a surprise wedding shower for Lorelai and Max. I wanted to know when you're available. Are you available this date? Whatever. And I was just like taken aback. Like, wait, what? She's like, I don't know. I'd have to check. Suki's like, okay, check, and then call me back. And so immediately Emily storms into Richard's office because he's in there, and she's like, you need to call Rory tomorrow and apologize. Say you weren't feeling well and that Dean is a lovely boy and he's welcome anytime. And Richard's like, I will do no such thing. He starts protesting.
He's like, are you crazy? Why have you not been listening to anything I've been saying for the last hour? Like, why would I ever do such a thing?
And Emily goes, our daughter is getting married. She's getting married and she didn't tell us. When Rory decides to get married, I would like her to tell us. I mean, Emily leaves and you see her and she's very upset. And then we flash to Lorelai. She's with Max on the front of their porch. She's kind of just telling Max about what happened. She's just like, oh, it's crazy. You're marrying into a weird family, a crazy family. And he says, speaking of marrying into families, I have this for you. And he gives Lorelai the ring. And she loves it, but apparently the ring is too big. He's like, oh gosh, it's too big. I have to go resize it. But Lorelai doesn't want to give it back. She's like, no, it's fine. I'll wear it on my thumb. I'll figure it out. And Max says, no, I want it to be resized and fit perfectly. And then you'll never have to take it off again. I'm going to insist on it. Just like they cuddle up on the porch swing outside and they're just together. And Lorelai's like, I'm getting married. And they're happy. And it fades to the credits. And that was our start of season 2.
Start of season 2.
Yeah.
They came in here with season 2 with a lot of stuff.
Here we go. Let's start this off.
Here we go. I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. All right. What do you want? You want my freeform thoughts? Or do you want to do the recap? Or
what's your freeform thoughts?
Freeform thoughts. Okay. First of all, they got to introduce a potential problem into Rory and Dean's stuff immediately, really. I knew it was going to happen eventually, but...
You did. Yeah, you said that.
Episode 1? Man, I just wanted them to be happy for a little while.
Can't we just be happy?
All right. General comment, too. What's going on with Lane? Oh my God, what is happening? Okay, obviously you know, right? But I don't know, and I'm just like, what? They're sending her to Korea for an undefined period of time. I don't think she's going to stay there, but I think there's clearly something going on with her family that they're not telling her that we'll find out. I mean, I don't think she's actually getting shipped there permanently. I don't think that's actually the case. There's something going on with her family.
Okay.
And we don't know what it is yet. Mm-hmm. They're in a financial trouble or something, or they're like, that's actually really the only thing I can think of right now. That there's like some reason why they like...
I have to ship her off to Korea.
Temporarily, yeah. So that her parents can... Wait, is her dad there? Wait a minute. Her mom? Does she have a dad? We've never seen him. Wait a minute.
I was waiting for you to ask this question.
Hold on. Wait, weren't her parents talking? She mentions both her parents in this episode.
Yes.
We've never seen her dad before.
You haven't.
So, like, what's that?
Yet.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Okay, okay, so some more, okay. More is going to happen with her parents. We're going to find something out. The dad is going to be involved, obviously. He seems to exist now, whereas he wasn't really around before.
Yeah.
It's not and we're just going to ship you off forever to another country. Like, it's not that. What else? Just like the wedding stuff. The same thing I said before. I was like, she might get engaged, but she's not going to get married to this man. I still think that. There's so many problems, not surface problems, like foundational problems with their relationship. Mm-hmm. And it literally was pointed out explicitly by Luke in this episode that they haven't talked about, like logistical things that are going to come up eventually and might be a problem. Where are they going to live actually is a huge one. Does she want to move all the way to Hartford, away from Stars Hollow and her job? I don't think she wants that. I don't think she's going to do that ever. Problem one, does Max want to live in Stars Hollow? Maybe he'd be willing to do that. I don't know. I don't know enough about him. I feel like we barely know anything about him. All we know is that he's like, he likes literature. He's witty. He can match Lorelai in the wit department. He's a teacher. He's a smart guy.
That's about it.
We don't know anything about, like, that's it. Like, it's not, we don't know his character deeply and all these things. Like, no.
You don't think they're going to get married?
I don't.
When do you think this is going to fall apart?
There's some options here.
There are 22 episodes in this season.
Oh, there's no way this is going to last all 22 episodes. There's no way. If we're on episode 1. They got engaged already. No way it's going to last the whole thing. Okay, there's 2 ways this could go.
Okay.
They're either going to start planning stuff. Through that planning process, Lorelai is going to realize she doesn't want this. Or they're going to get all the way to, like, it's the day of the wedding or something, like really close, and she's going to realize she doesn't want this. Or she never realizes she doesn't want it, and another incident like what happened last time happens again. Remember I was like, there can be an incident, like she's going to be, like, comforting Luke or something, and they're going to kiss, and then he's going to, like, walk in on it.
Yes.
That could still happen. They didn't kiss each other, but, like, now what I'm saying is that there's opportunity for, like, an event like that to happen again that's escalated even more, where, like, something, like she's doing something with Luke that he walks in on her, he doesn't approve of, and it causes a fight that's what breaks them up.
Okay, that could also happen.
So these are like the different things.
Yeah.
What do I think is the most likely?
Yeah.
Probably now that I talk through that, probably the Luke thing. I think the Luke thing's gonna happen again.
Okay.
I think it's gonna happen again. I mean, he's clearly like
he is. He's trying to like work his way in there, being like,
you know, I'm around and I do stuff. That's what I think is gonna happen. When? We're gonna have a few episodes. I think we should have a few episodes. I mean, they're moving things quickly because it's the first episode of the season, but like definitely a few episodes. It's not going to be all the way at the end of the season, though, I don't think.
No, but like
I'll be surprised.
First half or second?
Probably first half. The pacing is similar to season 1. I think probably in the first half.
All right.
Somebody's going to go down. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do some other recap elements. Fashion. I have things to say.
Yes.
I've been talking a lot, though.
The only thing that stood out to me that I hated, I don't know if we're thinking of the same thing, the dog shirt.
The dog shirt! It's the same thing!
It's the same thing.
What was that shirt?
I hated that shirt.
So ugly.
Like a passionate hatred towards that shirt. It was so ugly. It took away from the magic of that opening scene.
Yeah, it's like, I agree with you. Because it's in that scene, and then it's the whole thing where she's talking to Luke.
Yes.
And she's wearing this shirt. It was distracting.
It was so like, distracting. I like couldn't. And I'm like, oh, I hate it. I hate it. Like, I was like, so, I hate this shirt. Like in my note, I'm like, I hate it so much. Oh.
For the listeners, this shirt is like, it's a sleeveless shirt, but not a tank top. It's the kind of sleeveless shirt.
Sleeve, like,
it wasn't even a cap. I don't know what to call this type of sleeve. It's almost like a cutoff sleeve, but not with like a frayed edges. Like the sleeve just like ends.
I don't know. The sleeve wasn't the annoying part. The sleeve bothered you?
The sleeves also bothered me.
Okay.
Yeah, they were weird sleeves.
Let me see.
It had like a red lining around the edge, and it was weird. The front had this like picture of a dog on it.
Black and white picture of a dog, and it was large.
Like the dog was like the whole shirt almost.
I'm gonna post this with our episode announcements. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah, what?
What is that? I mean, it is so distracting.
That's such a good picture of it, though, because that is exactly why it's so annoying. Like, that angle is
what? It's like the dog's face is like stretched over her boobs. It's like distorted. It's like,
what?
I just hate it.
I'm like crying. Oh, I'm glad you also didn't like that shirt.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I'm like, I really don't like this shirt. But I was like, do I not like it enough to complain about it?
No, like this is the only thing I had. I didn't even like write down anything else for fashion.
I wrote down another thing for fashion.
What is it? Oh.
It's not necessarily a good or a bad thing.
Okay. Is it
it's a
the
comment.
Girls or
It's actually, no, I have 2 things that I noted actually in my head.
Yeah.
Are we done talking about the shirt?
Yeah, we didn't like it. Okay.
The second thing is that the dinner where Dean was at.
Yeah. Dean's outfit?
First I'll say, what did you think of Dean's outfit? What did you think of his outfit? It was very like early 2000s, like high school chic. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. I was like, okay. Okay. He's got bling.
I was like, he looking fresh.
For that time period, he was like wearing a trendy outfit, which I was like, okay. Because he didn't like dress like that in season 1.
No, like you've never seen him like in something like this. He's usually like in like a sweater or something. But like, yeah, he's got like
okay, he's like a cool
black
guy.
button down with like
with the necklace,
with the little jewelry going.
Yeah, it's like okay,
the top buttons open, so you can. I'm like, okay, Dean, okay. Yeah. They probably did that on purpose to give like he's like this cool boy like look, and not like showing up in the suit and tie like they would like normally like for someone to be, like Emily and Richard were like to give him that vibe.
It wasn't the preppy, it was the cool guy vibe.
Yeah. So yeah, he's looking for.
I know I was like, okay, it's just a different look for his character.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that. Yeah. Yes. Then the other thing, that same night, Lorelai is wearing this like super like sexy slip dress thing to dinner with her parents. And it's just like, okay, that's a choice. I don't know.
It's okay. I didn't like the positioning of the flowers.
You think they're weird?
Yeah.
I just thought
I didn't like this dress.
The style of the whole thing felt not what I would wear to like a dinner with my parents. That's all.
I agree with you. I don't know if it's like risque. I wouldn't be like, oh, this is risque.
I guess in my memory, I was thinking it was kind of like low cut and stuff.
It's like, not, no.
But it seems like it's that maybe not. Maybe
no,
not.
It's just like, I just didn't like it.
You just didn't like it?
I just didn't like it. So it's funny. We both had the same thoughts, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
All right, spooky moments.
Gosh, we had a few contenders while we were talking that I didn't write down.
The weird flirtations. I mean, I don't know if that counts as spooky, but
it's
weird and
just kind of some weird things. I mean, I don't know if we have anything super spooky this episode.
Yeah, there wasn't really like
there was like
spooky this episode.
You know, Lorelai's like, oh, I'm talking about the wedding, makes me want to like hang myself. Like I didn't like that. That's kind of where my spookiness comes from for this episode. It was like, ooh.
This one was a little light on the spook.
Yeah.
We talked about romance. What about wholesome moments?
Wholesome.
Maybe when Suki's excited about her getting married.
Oh, you know what?
Wholesome.
Actually, I like that. And she's crying and being like, you deserve this and you're great. That's a good wholesome moment. I like that a lot.
I kind of already talked about predictions.
We did, and the romantic.
And the romantic stuff. So we can just talk about quotes. I'm going to read mine. I had Antonia make Roquefort puffs. Antonia, bring the puffs.
So random.
It just made me laugh so hard. I was like,
bring the puffs.
Bring the puffs. Like she was so excited about the Roquefort puffs.
The Roquefort puffs. My quote's going to be this. His head is shaped like a football. If he fell asleep in the park, someone would bunt him. Like, oh my God.
Whoa.
Oh man. All right. Well, that was episode 1 of season 2.
Really excited to keep watching, as I pretty much say at the end of all of these now. I'm just like, I just want to watch the next episode.
I know.
Because I keep watching these and I have to wait.
We want to binge it, but we can't.
Well, you can.
I could. I was trying to solidarity.
I appreciate that. Thanks again so much, everyone, for listening. And if you enjoy this podcast and you haven't already, please subscribe to us on whatever platform you're listening on.
And if you're enjoying our show and want to give us some support, hit us up on buymeacoffee.com. Every episode description has a link. You can also follow us on TikTok and Instagram.
Until next time, keep the coffee flowing.